Hi, welcome back to Mountain Jim Card Collectibles. If you're having a great day. So, it seems like everyone and everything is becoming a Pokemon scalper these days. And we see that the corporate world is moving right on in. I mean, they do have the backing of Wall Street, all those big Wall Street dollars pouring in for people's retirements, this and that. And that's really the most disgusting thing is, the people who would invest in Lowe's, and here Lowe's is just becoming a Pokemon scalper and going out and, just ripping people off for the most part. And, does MSRP mean anything in the Pokemon world these days? For the most part, I don't believe it really matters much at all. I mean, if you're a Pokemon scalper, you're out to price gouge as many people as you can, to make your bank. And I think it's really pathetic for the most part. Now, I am guilty of scalping Pokemon sealed products as well. I mean, if we're going to put everyone on that boat, I guess I'd be on that boat as well. But where scalping started with, your eBay bros, your online bros, whatever, the most disgusting thing for me is to see these big, greedy corporations rolling right on in. And so if you don't believe me about, Lowe's selling Pokemon TCG, well, guess what? I have been proven correct with Google Gemini AI Overview and just the articles as well. So maybe there's a good chance you've heard about this. But then again, maybe there's a good chance you haven't. So anyway, I'll just read what it says at the Google Gemini AI Overview. Yes, Lowe's has officially started selling Pokemon TCG products in-store and online as of December 2025, offering booster packs, tins, and elite trainer boxes alongside home improvement items. Though some expect higher market value pricing and potential for increased theft issues, according to recent social media discussions. Okay. And, there's some more articles here, like Poke Beach, Lowe's stores in the U.S. begin carrying the Pokemon TCG. The home improvement store Lowe's will be selling, Pokemon, One Piece, Wish Wars, MetaZoo. So they're really going to, be rolling onto this, and they can do it with all the money that they have. I mean, I've always dreamed of opening my own LCS, but, these big corporations with all these Wall Street dollars, they can do whatever they want, And here we can see some more of the stuff, initial offerings include Phantasmal Flames booster packs, Prismatic Evolutions ETBs, Kanto Power Mini Tins, Mega Latias EX boxes, the 151 poster collection, and Paradox Clash tins, okay? But I tend to believe, that this could possibly blow up in Lowe's faces, I mean, they are a home improvement store like Home Depot. But, in our current economy, every corporation, every, scalper is kind of becoming nervous, Our economy is crumbling. And so we see Lowe's rolling on in to Pokemon. It's like any desperate, scalper bro that's out there. And it's just really pathetic, in my opinion. Now, before we hit X, let's look at some of these prices on. I just pulled up the Prismatic Evolutions ETB box, that Lowe's is selling. And Lowe's has it marked about $130, And, that's about scalper prices. But let's face it, if Lowe's was on eBay with their price at $130, they'd be like the most expensive scalper out there. I'm just putting that out there, which is crazy. I mean, here we see someone who's trying to sell, Pokemon Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer Box, new factory sealed for $119.99, okay? Here we see Pokemon TCG Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer Box with Pokeball going for $24.99, okay? And then this is what gets me, okay? Here's a ETB of Prismatic Evolutions going for $99.99. Here's one, at $103.50. You better rush in, if you want to bid on that. That went for $100. I'm not seeing this priced at $130 anywhere for the most part. Well, I can't say that. We have something fishy going here. $320. I mean, that's the Gordon Gekko greed is good seller. Whatever. but they could be walking hand in hand with our good old, scalper bros at Lowe's, which is just crazy that they're asking this much. Okay, I mean, here's $134.49, but at least they're, adding, a little mini tin to it, So let's face it, if Lowe's was on eBay, they would have one of the highest prices on, the Prismatic Evolutions ETB imaginable. I mean, it's just crazy what they're pricing it at. Pokemon TCG restocks and new 24/7. Lowe's is officially now in the retail scalping lead. GameStop, step aside. Yeah, everyone is starting to understand this too. That like GameStop's a scalper. Lowe's is definitely a scalper. And let's see if there's any more of these posts down here. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably run them more. I mean, here's another one that no one's really commented, but let's just read the replies for this post. Did Lowe's not get the memo that Pokemon cards are crashing? Well, I feel like there's a narrative being pushed that Pokemon cards are crashing from the true fans of Pokemon TCG just so that they get the stuff closer to, true MSRP. I'm just putting that out there. I mean, wherever I go, the stuff, the shelves are empty of the Pokemon products. Just have a few empty boxes, whatever. A few crumbs. The stuff is still flying out the doors, especially now it's Christmas time. And that's, when you look at this picture, $130 for this, $34.99 for this tin or whatever that is. I mean, it looks like a tin to me. Okay. And then we see that they are even selling, Panini Absolute Football, Panini Prism. We got some tops down here. I mean, so it's not just the Pokemon company who's guilty of rolling on in with Lowe's and letting them do whatever they want with their products. I mean, sports cards are at Lowe's too. But it doesn't appear that the Pokemon stuff is exactly flying out the gate. And everybody was mad at the small guy for reselling. Welcome to the future of retail. Yeah, where the retailers put the scalper prices on it, I think that this mode of selling Pokemon boxes at scalper rates and even higher than scalper rates from these retailers is as scumbaggy as it gets, I don't know why the Pokemon Corporation company is not putting regulations on retailers for how they price their items. I mean, these retailers are pricing their items higher than the scalpers. I mean, it's just the most ridiculous thing I've seen. Now, I can't defend TPC. How do they not have some sort of price restriction in their contracts? I kind of get why, but still, this shit is ridiculous. Yes, it is. It's the most ridiculous thing I've seen. It's almost like, they're holding the product hostage for the people who really want it. I'm sorry, but who the F goes to Lowe's for Pokemon cards? I swear if my DeWalt tools start getting scalped, I mean, your DeWalt tools are not going to be getting scalped. Come on. No. Lowe's is doing this because they're desperate for money. And they have Wall Street on their side now, don't they? Which most everyone else just doesn't, And that's the most disgusting part of this is, if you're paying these prices at Lowe's, what are you doing? I guess you're helping pay for grandma and grandpa's, retirement fund or dad's retirement fund, whatever. Screw these retirement funds. Screw Wall Street. So it's just disgusting, the greed, that we're seeing these days. So I have a theory with all these retailers scalping and Pokemon slowly going down. We're going to reach a point where product will be readily available for MSRP elsewhere, and these stores won't have any choice but to sell under MSRP to get rid of the excess stock. Well, I just don't know when that's going to happen or if that's going to happen. I mean, I feel like Lowe's would rather have their big price tag, to take advantage of some desperate, TCG fan over, doing the right thing. I know that, there's a lot of hope out there that the prices are going to hit MSRP for Pokemon, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon, especially right now during Christmas. Maybe the spring, maybe in the summer. But I just don't see it happening during this winter at all. They have to accept price matching, right? I'm not sure about Lowe's. I know that Shopko used to price match, but Shopko's gone. I used to get a lot of good stuff at Shopko because they would price match. Look at that security. Yeah, that's just it. This is like Lowe's golden goose, it really is. Who wants to go to Lowe's right now and spend their money, in our economy, other than, buying Pokemon? But then they do this to you, all this security. That's just ridiculous. They know what they have. They know what they're doing. We're the real scalpers, they said. That's hilarious, people coming at me, calling me a scalper. Well, the reality is the retailers are scalpers now. And it's not like they're like decent scalpers either. If anything, Lowe's should have it, $100. Give me a break. Love this. Finally, all retailers are scalping. Love the impact the scalpers are going to have. Ha, 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 ha. Well, if it continues to go on and on and on, the market will eventually crash. But when and if it crashes, everything will go down, in value. That's just it. I just don't know if or when that's ever going to happen. Can't wait for Home Depot to sell Pokemon. Yeah, I was just in my Home Depot on Friday buying some stuff, looking around, and fortunately I didn't see any cards in there. But as desperate as these big retail chains are getting, I wouldn't be surprised. Really, Lowe's, $130? Lowe's, you can, yeah, and that's about it. You can sit and spend. You know what I mean? People are just getting burned out of this market. All the tariffs on everything is just a nightmare. The farmers having to, get government subsidies now because they can't sell their products anywhere. It's bad. It's as bad as I've seen it. Lowe is a scalper champ, beat GameStop. Yeah, GameStop and Lowe's are kind of, in the same business. They get all this Wall Street money, and then they're just scalpers, and take advantage of people. That's as bad as it gets. And really, I can point the finger at Wall Street and go, boy, you guys are just a bunch of villains. We know why our prices are so high, why no one can afford anything, why, my brother goes up to Canada and sees that food prices are just so much more dramatically lower in Canada than the U.S. currently. It is just ugly. Who's going to be buying those? Laugh out loud. Somebody will. There's always desperate people out there. As we get closer and closer to Christmas, I'm sure there's some parent, that will go rolling in there, who wants to, make their kid happy, and they'll probably start buying the product up. This is embarrassing. Lowe should be ashamed of themselves. Just stay in your lane, you failing company. Yeah. A lot of these big corporations are kind of failing right now. And what gets me, a lot of them supported Donald Trump. I was watching one guy who was a big Donald Trump supporter. Now he's calling Donald Trump the Trojan horse. Lowe's got TCG only to take up shelf space and collect dust. That picture, the stuff isn't flying off. I don't know whoever took that picture. Maybe they could go back to the store today and see what's going on there. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Is any of the stuff moving at all? Here's one. Here's a Dick's in Massachusetts. They have their Prismatic Evolutions ETB going for $139.99. That is just insanity. Now, I'm not sure if that is a Dick's, maybe that's somewhere else because we can't really see, what's going on there. Bought high, sell higher. Yep, that seems to be the motto with the big retail scalpers these days. And I guess that's a term I'm going to put out there: retail scalpers. There's scalpers, the little guys like me. I'm guilty of scalping here and there, But then you have the big retail scalpers, which, like it says here, scum. They really are. I mean, go do your own thing. Go do your Lowe's thing. I mean, you guys are such big promoters of Donald Trump and the economy, at Lowe's. Why not just stay in your lane and sell home improvement stuff? Oh, because the Trojan horse tanked the current economy. Oh. What? Boycott. Let it rot. See, all it takes are a few greedy assholes to F it up for everybody. Yeah, that's so true, It really is in today's market. Is this really what you want? Game stores with little to no product while a home improvement store rips off your customer. At least at the local LGS or local online store, you could probably play someone there, yeah? I mean, it feels, like the right thing to do is to go to an LCS, like my LCS, has tables, you can do tournaments, there's usually people just hanging out at the tables, doing their magic cards, whatever, That's the way an LCS feels, it's a welcoming place. A Lowe's and a Home Depot, let's face it, they don't feel very welcoming to me, I mean, they're just these big, massive home improvement stores. I always get nervous in, Home Depot and Lowe's. I'm always afraid something can fall off one of the big top shelves and crush me, they always put stuff on their big top shelves, But I still feel like it's a joke, what's happened to our market, For Pokemon products, especially, from big retailers who should be doing the right thing for the consumers and not sitting there price gouging them, to death, they're like the highest retailer scalper out there for the most part, I mean, even if you look at eBay scalpers, they're higher than all the eBay scalpers. It's such a joke. So, there's a lot of issues with our current economy. Here we see, desperate Wall Street tied retailers price gouging the you-know-what out of people for one reason or another, because obviously people aren't purchasing their other products at the store. It's pretty sad what's happened to retail in the U.S. It's sad what's happening to Pokemon, how it's becoming, like this, like lucky rabbit's foot, I guess, for retailers to sit and, I guess make up for their losses is what they're hoping for by putting big, massive price tags on something that should be priced at about $30, $40. You know what I mean? It's really just pathetic. So I just feel like retail scalpers are like the very, 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 very bottom of the pit, if you know what I mean. You can't get any lower than becoming a retail scalper now, can you? I mean, it's as scummy as it gets. So anyway, how do you feel about this issue? Leave some comments. I always like to thank my subscribers. You're the reason I keep doing these episodes, even though I'm not monetized. But, maybe if I get more subscribers, I can get monetized. If you're a viewer, if you'd hit that subscription button, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.